I didn't leave her motherless, Harold. Reverend Tolliver wanted to move the church up north because all the trouble the colored folks was having down there. Nobody knew what was going to happen traveling them roads. We didn't even know if we was going to make it up here or not. I left her with my mama so she'd be safe. That was better than dragging her out in them roads, having to duck and hide from people. Wasn't no telling what was going to happen to us. I didn't leave her motherless in the world. I've been looking for you. Harold, I didn't know if he was ever coming back. They told me Joe Turner had you, and my whole world split half in two. My whole life shattered. It was like I'd poured it into a cracked jar and it all leaked out the bottom. When it go like that, there ain't nothing you could do to put it back together. You talking about Henry Thompson's place like I'm still gonna be there working land by myself. How am I gonna do that? He wasn't gone but 2 months, and Henry Thompson kicked me off his land, and I ain't no place to go but my mama's. I stayed and waited there for 5 years. Before I woke up one morning and decided you was dead. Even if you weren't, you were dead to me. I wasn't gonna carry you with me no more. So I killed you in my heart. I buried you, I mourned you, and then I picked up what was left to make a life without you. I was a young woman with life at my beck, and I couldn't drag you behind me like a sack of cotton.
When we first started to do August Wilson, I was very freaked out and very nervous because coronavirus, and I had no idea how I'd be able to perform or how I could maintain performance among such difficult times. But doing this piece really helped me see a lot about myself, and I feel like we all really pulled through very well, and I feel like I discovered a lot about myself doing this piece, and I think we did amazing given the circumstances.
They showed me the body. They come up and got me. His sister got on Mobile and they come down and asked me to see if it was him. But I didn't want to look. I grabbed hold of my arm and just squeezed. He had his mouth open. That's what I always will remember. Not much there. He was shot 5 times in the head. One shot hit him in the nose and it just wasn't there no more. I don't know where it wasn't on his face. He asked me, did I know him? I told him, no, I don't know him. I hadn't had a chance to find out too much about him. I said, I knew who he was. That's Leroy Slater. I was living with him on 131 Warren Street. They asked me to sign some papers. One man told me he was sorry. I left on out of there and went on back home. That was the saddest day. I couldn't look at Elmore after I found out what he had done. And even though I loved him, it was a long time before I could look at him. And I felt so sad. I said I was going to quit living. I stole away and cried. And then I'd cry again, and I'd dry my eyes, and I'd cry some more. And it just felt like the world had gone crazy. And then everything stopped. They carried him on out there, and they put him in the ground. Leroy Slater. A good man. They say life had its own rhythm. I just wish it didn't have been like that. And that was the saddest I ever been.
Throughout my years in the August Wilson monologue competition, I've learned to be more confident in my abilities as an actor. I wasted so much time beating myself down and being my own worst critic, and I never really had a performance that I truly loved. Until this year. This year, I was so proud of myself and my monologue, and in my final performance, I knew I had done a good job, a feeling I hadn't felt before.
Nah, Darnell. You ain't bought no house without me. How many times in your life do you get to pick out a house? You bought a den for Darnell. That's what you did. So you could sit up there and watch your football games. But what about the kitchen? The bathroom? How many windows does it have in the bedroom? Is there some place for Jesse to play? How much closet space does it have? You can't just surprise me with a house and I'm supposed to say, oh, Darnell, that's nice. At one time I would have, but I'm not 17 no more. I have responsibilities. I want to know if there's a hookup for a washer and dryer because I got to wash Jesse's clothes. I want to know if there's a yard and do it have a fence and how far Jesse has to go to school. I ain't thinking about where to put the TV. That's not what's important to me. And you're supposed to know, Darnell. You're supposed to know what's important to me like I'm supposed to know what's important to you. I'm not asking you to do it by yourself. I'm here with you. We in this together. See, house or no house, we still ain't got the food money. But if you'd come to me and you'd share that with me and you told me, we could have went to my mother, we could have gotten $80 for the house and still had enough money for food. You just did it all wrong, Darnell. I mean, you did the right thing. You just did it all wrong.
Overall, I think August Wilson has taught me major strength and perseverance. The amount of emotion we have to put into our monologues is a skill within itself that takes effort and determination. It does not come easy. You have to work, learn the material, and learn the characters. The stories that are told and the emotion that is developed in the monologue strengthened me and created a sense of confidence that I did not know I had. August Wilson taught me that I can be anything I want to be and achieve anything I put effort towards. Darnell, I don't understand. I'm doing everything I can to make this work. I'm working my little job down there at the restaurant, going to school, trying to take care of Jesse, trying to take care of your needs, trying to keep the house together, trying to make everything better. But now, I come home from work, I got to go to the store. I go upstairs, look in the drawer, and the food money is gone. Now you explain that to me. There was $80 right there in that drawer. That ain't there now. What you need it for? You tell me. What's more important than me and Jesse eating? You know I don't touch that grocery money. Whatever happens, we got to eat. If I need clothes, I do without. My little personal stuff, I do without. If I ain't got no electricity, I do without. But I don't ever touch that grocery money. Because I'm not going to be that irresponsible to my child. Because he depend on me. I'm not going to be that irresponsible to my family. I ain't going to be like that. Jesse gonna have a chance at life. He ain't gonna be going to school hungry because I spent the grocery money on some nail polish or some Afro sheen. He ain't gonna be laying up in the bed hungry and unable to sleep because his daddy took the grocery money to go pay a debt. You know what you be doing better than I. But whatever it is, it ain't enough. It ain't all about the money, Darnell. I'm talking about the way you've been doing. You ain't never home no more. You be out half the night. I wake up, you ain't there.
I walked down on down to Mobile and hitched up with some of them fellas that was heading this way. When I got up here, not only couldn't you find a job, you couldn't find no place to live. I thought I was in freedom. Shh, colored folks living down there on the riverbanks in whatever kind of shelter they could find for themselves right down there under Brady Street Bridge, living in shacks made of sticks and tar paper. Messed around there and went from bad to worse. Started stealing. First, it was food. Then I figured, hell, if I steal money, I can buy me some food. Buy me some shoes, too. One thing led to another. Met your mama. I was young and anxious to be a man, met your mama and had you. What'd I do that for? Now I gotta worry about feeding you and her. Got to steal 3 times as much. Went out one day looking for somebody to rob. That's what I was, a robber. I'll tell you the truth. I'm ashamed of it today, but it's the truth. Went to rob this fellow, pulled out my knife, and he pulled out a gun. Shot me in the chest. It felt like somebody had taken a hot branding iron and laid it on me. When he shot me, I jumped at him with my knife. They told me I killed him, and they put me in the penitentiary and locked me up for 15 years. That's where I met Bono. That's where I learned to play baseball. Got out of that place, and your mama had taken you and went on to make life without me. 15 years was a long time for her to wait. But that 15 years cured me of that robbing stuff, Rose will tell you. She asked me when I met her if I had gotten all that foolishness out of my system, and I told her, baby, it's you and baseball all what count with me. You hear me, Bono? I meant it too. She said, which one comes first? I told her, baby, ain't no doubt it's baseball. But you stick and get old with me, and we'll both outlive this baseball. Am I right, Rose? And it's true.
August Wilson has taught me about the need for goals that are true to who you are. My character from this year thought he had found his calling in the piano, but ended up regretting his pursuit of a career in music. This made me realize that just because you love something doesn't mean you'll love doing it all the time.
I give that piano up. That was the best thing that ever happened to me, getting rid of that piano. That piano got so big, and I'm carrying it around on my back. I don't wish that on nobody. See, you think it's all fun. Being a recording star, got to carrying that piano around, and man, did I get slow. Got just like molasses. The world just slipping by me, and I'm walking around with that piano. All right. Now, there ain't but so many places you can go. Only so many roads wide enough for you and that piano. Come to a place and they find out you play piano, the first thing they want to do is find you a piano, get you a drink, and find you a seat. And that's where you're going to be for the next 8 hours. They ain't going to let you get up. Now, the first 3 or 4 hours of that is fun. You can't get enough whiskey, and you can't get enough women, and you ain't never getting tired of playing that piano. But that only lasts so long. You wake up one day, and you hate the whiskey, and you hate the women, and you hate the piano. But that's all you got. You don't know nothing else. All you know how to do is play that piano. So now, who am I? Am I me? Or am I the piano player? Sometimes it seems like the only thing to do is shoot the piano player, to see the cause of all the trouble I'm having.
August Wilson has taught me to be more confident in myself and in my work. My character learns to speak up for himself and be confident in what he has to say. And along the way, while practicing his monologue, his confidence had inspired me to be more confident in what I have to say. Now, I listen to my emotions, and when I feel that something is wrong, I speak up for myself and others and address it with confidence. Yeah, Pop, you taught me a lot of things. And a lot of things I had to learn on my own. Like that time Mr. Rand came to the house to collect the rent, we was 2 months behind. I don't remember what year it was, I just know it was winter. Grandma Ada had just died and you got behind in the rent because you had to help pay for her funeral. I don't know if you knew it, Pop, But you were a big man. Everywhere you went, people treated you like a big man. You used to take me to the barbershop with you. You'd walk in there and fill up the whole place. Everybody would stop cussing because Jim Becker had walked in. I would just look at you and wonder how you could be that big. I wanted to be like that. I would go to school and try to make myself feel big, but I never could. I told myself, that's okay. When I get grown, I'm gonna be big like that. Walk in the barbershop and have everybody stop and look at me. That day, when Mr. Rand came to the house, it was snowing. You came out on the porch and he started shouting and cussing and threatening to put us out in the street where we belonged. I was waiting for you to tell him to shut up, to get off your porch. But you just looked at him and promised you would have the money next month. Mama came to the door and he kept shouting and cussing. I looked at Mama and she was trying to get me to go in the house, and I looked at you and you had got smaller. The longer he shouted, the smaller you got. When we went to the barber shop, you didn't seem so big no more. You was the same size as everybody else. You was just another man in the barber shop. That's when I told myself, if I ever get big, I wouldn't let nothing make me small. Then when I met Susan McKnight and found out her daddy was the vice president of Guilfoyle, that's when I got big. That made me a big man. I felt like I was somebody. I felt like I could walk in the barbershop and fill it up the way you did. Then when she told that lie on me, that's when I woke up. That's when I realized I wasn't big from the inside. I wasn't big on my own. When she told that lie, it made me small. I wanted to do something that said I wasn't just another brother, that I was Clarence Becker. I wanted to make them remember my name. And I thought about you standing there and getting small, and Mr. Rand shouting and Susan McKnight shouting out that lie. And I realized it was my chance to make the Beckers big again. My chance to show what I had learned on my own. I thought you would understand. I thought you would be proud of me.
Throughout my experience with August Wilson's stories and bringing them on stage, I've learned the importance of versatility. Each year we're handed a new character to portray and delve into their joys, struggles, and developments. We're often told to step out of our comfort zone in what we choose to perform and how we go about it, and this year isn't any different. I am truly glad I had the chance to be introduced to these characters and motivated to bring something else to the table each time. Had a whole missing mini catched. Just go out hunting regular like you go out hunting possum. He catch you and go home to his wife and family, and he thought about you going home to yours. Joe Turner catched me when my little girl was just born. Wasn't nothing but a little baby sucking on a mama's titty when he catched me. Joe Turner catched me in 1901. Kept me 7 years until 1908. Kept everybody 7 years. He'd go out hunting and bring back 40 men at a time and keep them 7 years. I was walking down this road outside of this little town outside of Memphis and come up on these fellows gambling. Now, I was a deacon in the Abundant Life Church, and I stopped to preach to these fellows to see if maybe I could turn some of them from their sinning when Joe Turner, brother of the governor of the sovereign state of Tennessee, swooped down on us and grabbed everybody there. Kept us all 7 years. My wife Martha gone from me after Joe Turner catched me. Got out from under him under his birthday. Me and 40 other men were put in our 7 years, and he let us go on his birthday. I made it back to Henry Thompson's place when me and Martha were sharecropping, and Martha's gone. She's taken my little girl, and she went off with her mom and took off north. We've been looking for her ever since. That's been going on for 4 years. Now we've been looking. That's the only thing I know to do. I just want to see her face so I could get me a starting place in the world. The world's got to start somewhere. That's what I've been looking for. I've been living a long time in somebody else's world. When I find my wife, that'll be the making of my own.
They never make emancipation what they say it was. They say Jesus turned the water into wine. What you look like telling him it was the wrong kind? Hell, maybe it is the wrong kind. If you're gonna do it right. They wave the law on one end, then hit you with the billy club on the other. I told myself I can sit around collecting dog shit while the people drowning. The people drowning in sorrow and grief. That's a mighty big ocean. They got the law tied to their toes. Soon as they try and swim away, the law pull them under. It's getting dangerous out here. Men walk around hunting each other. You're not careful, you could lose an eye or an arm. I seen that. I seen a man grab hold to a fella and cut off his arm, cut it off right at the shoulder. He had to work out of the wild, but he couldn't clean off. The man looked down, see his arm gone, and started crying. After that, he more dangerous with that one arm than the other man is with two. He got less to lose. It's a lot of one-armed men walking around.
August Wilson has taught me to appreciate the small moments of learning about someone. Not only hear the stories the people around me tell, but to listen to them. He has taught me that day-to-day life is important. We aren't living for the one final climax of our lives. We are living for the days, and the conversations, and the understandings that are wrought between people.
Nah! You don't understand. I'm my own union. I got my own everything. I got my own bank. But I got my own truck. I got my own tools. I got my own rules, and I got my own union. I don't play no games. I have to make my own. It's the only way I got anything. I've been going in the back door all my life. See, people get confused about me. Did that ever since I was in school. I know how to row the boat. Been on the water a long time. I know what it takes to plug the holes. I ain't dumb, even though some people think I am. That gave me advantage. Found that out when I was in the orphanage. Mr. Redwood taught me that. He told me, you ain't dumb. You just faster than everybody else. I was so fast it made me look slow. Waiting for them to catch up made it look like I was standing around doing nothing. Got me behind in the 4th grade because I wouldn't add 12 and 12. I thought it was stupid. Everybody knows that there's 12 to a dozen and 24 to 2 dozens. I don't care if it's donuts or oranges. They handed me the test. I turned it in blank. You had $17. You bought a parrot for $12. How many dollars would you have left? Who the hell gonna spend $12 on a parrot? What you gonna do with it? Do you know how many chickens you can get for $12? I thought I didn't know the answer. Every time somebody comes to adopt me, they say, well, Sterling's a little slow. That stuck with me. Started to believe it myself. Maybe they knew something I didn't know. That's when Mr. Redwood told me, you ain't dumb. You just faster than everybody else. I've been going in the back doors all my life because they don't never let me in the front.
Over the course of my 3 years of participating in August Wilson, I've learned so much about the art of theater and about myself. I came into freshman year the most shy I've ever been. I never really saw that deep-rooted potential that I now currently have. Of the 3 monologues that have been chosen for me, they have absolutely resonated with me or people surrounding me. That gave me a better understanding as to how I would be portraying the characters I had to embody. At first, it was hard and nerve-wracking for me to get out of my own skin, but I had to put up the most absolute show. It wasn't up until sophomore year when I finally got it. I saw my potential in my strength that Schrader and Robert and every single member of my ensemble was pushing me to acknowledge. I finally saw all the deep-rooted emotions in those pieces within myself. I was in complete awe of how far I've come, and I've never imagined that this moment would be the stepping stone to a career I've always dreamed of.
I've been standing with you. I've been right here with you, Troy. I got a life too. I gave 18 years of my life to stand in the same spot with you. Don't you think I ever wanted other things? Don't you think I had dreams and hopes? What about my life? What about me? Don't you think it ever crossed my mind to want to know other men? That I wanted to lay up somewhere and forget about my responsibilities. That I wanted someone to make me laugh so I could feel good. You're not the only one who's got wants and needs. But I held on to you, Troy. I took all my feelings, my wants and needs, my dreams, and I buried them inside you. I planted a seed and watched and prayed over it. I planted myself inside you and waited to bloom. But it didn't take me no 18 years, to find out that that soil was hard and rocky, and it wasn't never gonna bloom. But I held on to you, Troy. I held you tighter. You was my husband. I owed you everything. I had every part of me I could find to give you. And upstairs, in that room, with the darkness falling in on me, it took everything I had to try and erase it now that you wasn't the finest man in the world. And wherever you was going, I wanted to be there with you. 'Cause you was my husband. 'Cause that was the only way I was gonna survive as your wife. You always talk about what you get and what you don't have to give. But you take too. You take and don't even know nobody's giving.
I got a call this morning from the governor's office. They canceled my next interview and said they didn't want to reschedule any further interviews with me at this time. You jumped, but I'm falling too. I'm the wife of Harmon Wilkes. That's all the governor sees. All any of the board members see, what all our friends see. I tied myself so tight to you that there is no me. I don't know if I can carry this any further. I have a Senate too. What happens when that gets caved in? I have questions too. You acting like a kid who, because thing doesn't go his way, takes his ball and goes home. That's what your problem is. You've always been the kid with the ball. You're the one with the glove and the bat. You had a bike when nobody else had one. All your life, you had everything go your way. I'm still standing here, Harmon. I still love you. But you're on your own with all that. Your campaign, the old house, the hill, that's all you now. I can't live my life for you. And you can't live yours for me. But I'm still standing here. See you tonight.
When I started August Wilson in freshman year, it was strange. It always interested me that I was going to be playing a black character, me being somebody who came out of a very dominantly white private school. It felt strange to me. Of course, that was more about me learning about what acting is as a whole, I guess. When I did August Wilson in freshman year, it really changed my outlook on everything being an actor was about. It gave me a bit of a stepping stone to say, hey, here's where you are now, and here's where you're going to be. And it really was just a big inspiration to me as a whole, not to mention just the amazing stories and characters that I got to play out on stage, and really just is an amazing time.
Tonya's pictures! They ain't got the pictures. Told me they can't find them, and they ain't got no record of them. I tried showing him the receipt, and he told me that didn't count. I started to grab him by his throat. How in the hell the receipt not gonna count? It's like money. I told his dumb ass to get the manager. Manager come. Talking about their system. Say it's based on phone numbers. I told him I didn't care about his system. A receipt is a receipt. All over the world. You can't have no system where a receipt don't count. You can't just go making up the rules. I don't care if you're Sears and Roebuck, Kmart, or anybody else. You can't have no rule where a receipt don't count. I tried to tell him this politely, like Mama Lewis taught me. He wasn't listening. He was trying to talk while I was talking. I told him, motherfucker, shut up and listen to me. He threatens to call the police. I told him he better call the United States Marines too. The police come and threaten to arrest me. They try to take my receipt. I told them they have to kill me first. Without that receipt, I'm going to jail. They can charge me with fraud, forgery, extortion, grand theft, larceny, second-degree robbery, and anything else they can think of. They took the number off the receipt and said they would track pictures down. They're so busy talking about their system. They gotta prove to me that the receipt don't count. See, they don't know, but they gonna give me my goddamn pictures. I don't bother nobody. But I can turn that around real quick.
Over the years, August Wilson has taught me how to find the empathy that I often feel is lost in myself. He's shown me what it looks like to connect with others and why that's important. And I've also found similarities in characters and myself. One that I find can be a good thing and a bad thing is being independent. I know it's good to be self-reliant, but August Wilson has shown me that it can become an obstacle when you need to ask for help. And he's also shown me the internal battle of what it looks like to find balance between being independent and accepting the generosity from those around you. So I'll definitely carry that with me when I feel a little too prideful to ask for help.
You ain't taking that piano out of my house. Look at this piano. Look at it. Mama Ola polished this piano with her tears for 17 years. For 17 years, she rubbed it till her hands bled and rubbed it in, mixed up with the rest of the blood on it. Every day that God breathed life into her body, she rubbed and cleaned and polished and prayed over it. Play something for me, Bernice. Play something for me, Bernice. Every day, I cleaned it up for you. Play something for me, Bernice. You always talking about your daddy, but you ain't never looked at what his foolishness cost your mama. 17 years worth of cold nights and an empty bed. For what? For a piano? For a piece of wood? To get even with somebody? I look at you and you're all the same. You, Papa Boy Charles, Whining Boy, Doker, Crawley, you're all alike. All this thieving and killing and thieving and killing, and what did it ever lead to? More killing and more thieving. I never seen it come to nothing. People getting shot at. People getting burned up. People falling down their wells. It don't never stop.
August Wilson has taught me to not be afraid of discomfort and to actually be comfortable in someone else's uncomfortableness. Many of his characters were telling their stories as the plays unfolded. The work he presents sought to strengthen one's mind, body, and soul to face the truthness of their reality, to unravel those unheard stories and find conclusions to their trials and tribulations. This is already hard work on an actor, Because not only do we have to convey their truth on stage, but we have to ensure the realism and reality of ourselves is present on stage as well. He taught me to grow in my dislike and remain real. That took me deeper into who his characters are. He portrays realism in his work, so I learned to connect my life to his characters and know that I am not the only one with these experiences.
Why? Look at Natasha. I couldn't give her what she needed. Why I want to go back and do it again? I ain't got nothing else to give. I can't give myself. How I'm going to give her? I don't understand what to do. How to be a mother. You either love too much or don't love enough. Don't seem like there's no middle ground. I look up. She's 10 years old, and I'm still trying to figure out life. Figure out what happened. Next thing I know, she grown, talking about she a woman. Just because you can lay down and open your leg to a man don't make you a woman. I tried to tell her that. She a baby. What she know? Who taught her? I'm still trying to figure out myself. Time I catch up, it's moved on to something else. I gotta watch her being thrown down a hole. It's gonna take her a lifetime to crawl out. And I can't do nothing to help her. I got to stand by and watch her. Why I want to go back through all that? I don't want to have a baby that's younger than my grandchild who turned the world around like that. What sense that make? I'm 35 years old. Don't seem like there's nothing left. I'm through with babies. Ain't raising no more, ain't raising no grandkids. I'm looking out for TONYA. I ain't raising no kid to have somebody shoot him, to have his friends shoot him, to have the police shoot him. Why I want to bring another life into this world that don't respect life. I ain't raising no more babies when you have to fight to keep them alive.
August Wilson has taught me about the different perspectives of my childhood. My whole life, I looked at different situations in one perspective. However, after I listened to the stories of the characters he created, I started to look at my real-life childhood situations in my character's perspective. Another thing August Wilson has taught me is that even though life will not always go the way you want it to, there is always hope. He taught me perseverance and courage. And nothing worse than slavery. I know. I was there. Dark was the night, and cold was the ground. Look at that. That's my good luck piece. That piece of chain used to be around my ankle. They tried to chain me down, but I beat them with that one. I say I'm gonna keep this to remember by. I've been lucky ever since. I beat them on a lot of things. I beat them when I got away. I had some people who helped me. They helped me, show me the way, and looked out for me. I got all the way to Canada. There is 8 of us. I was in Canada in 1857. I just stood right there in Freedom Land. That's what they called it. Freedom Land. I asked myself, what I'm gonna do? I looked around. I didn't see nothing for me. I tried to feel different, but it couldn't. Started crying. I didn't cry since my daddy knocked me down for crying when I was 10 years old. I breathed in real deep to taste the air. Didn't taste no different. The man with boss over the border tried to talk with me. I just sat right down on the ground and started crying. Told him, say, I don't feel right. It didn't feel right being in freedom and my mama and all the other people still in bondage. Told him, say, I'm going back with you. I stopped crying as soon as I said that. I joined the Underground Railroad. Look at that. See that? That's 62 notches. That's 62 people I carried to freedom. Just looking to make it 63 when Abraham Lincoln come along and change all that. Him and General Grant. I never did join the Union Army, but show them where to go. I know all the routes. Me and Eli worked together many a time. I was what we called the drag man. I'd guard the rear, got to fight a lot of times. I'd done been bit 9 times by a dog. Look at that, see that? A dog tried to tear my leg off one time. I got a big part of my arm missing. Tore out the muscles and everything. He was going for my throat. I told myself I was lucky. It was a good thing I found that pure. Otherwise, I'd had to kill every dog I see.
Over the past 3 years of doing August Wilson, I've been able to grow from each experience. I've learned how to be persistent, especially in this year's monologue, how to work harder and harder. I've also learned how to look at the things that I can't change in life and work past them. And in performance, I've learned how to maintain focus and how to block out the things that don't matter and focus on what matters to me in the moment. And I've been able to use all of these skills in my life, the focus and the persistence, not just in tandem with his writing. Alabama. I've only been up here 4 weeks. When I left Alabama, they had all the roads closed to the colored people. I had to sneak out, say they didn't want anybody to leave, say we had to stay there and work. I told my mama I was going. She say okay, told me they're a big world out there. I kissed her. She told me she loved me, and I left. I nearly got caught a couple of times. There were some other people out on the road and we helped each other. Me and a fellow named Roper Lee went down to the mill. They say they was paying $2 a day. But when we got there, they say $1.50. Then they say we gotta pay $2 room and board, send us over to a place. The man said we gotta pay another $2 on top of that. Then, he tried to put 2 fellows to a room with 1 bed. Now I was with want to fight about it. I'm just starting out. I don't want no trouble. I told him I would sleep on the floor. I'm not planning on sleeping there long. I'm just starting out sleeping there. I asked one fellow, boardman. He say, they supposed to give you something to eat. They ain't give us nothing. I say, okay. What I'm gonna do, I can't make them give me nothing. Bought a loaf of bread for $0.10. A bowl of soup cost 10 cents around the corner. I wasn't desperate. I had 65 cents to make it to payday. I ate half the bread. Say I buy a bowl of soup tomorrow. Come payday, they give me $3. Say the rest go on my bill. What I'm gonna do, Miss Tyler, I still gotta pay the man what owns the house $2. Told the people at the mill I was gonna get another job. They said I couldn't do that because I still owed them money and they was gonna get the police on me. I was gonna go to another city, but then before I had a chance, I killed a man. I don't know, Miss Tyler. I feel like I got a hole inside me. People say you can help me. I don't want to go to hell, Miss Tyler. My mama cry every time something bad happens to me.
I have learned a lot about myself in August Wilson this year.
To be honest, at first I felt like my monologue was boring. I got scared by how short it was, and I felt like that meant that it couldn't have as much depth. I later realized that just because a monologue is long doesn't mean that it has more impact. I found ways to put the same amount of emotion and intention into a shorter piece that ended up expanding my horizons and helping me see how much you can convey in a single paragraph.
I got enough on my hands with Maritha. I got enough people to love and take care of. You're trying to tell me a woman can't be nothing without a man. But you alright? Huh? You can just walk out of here without me, without a woman, and still be a man. That's alright. Ain't nobody gonna ask you, Avery, who you got to love you? That's alright for you. But everybody is gonna be worried about Bernice. How Bernice is gonna take care of herself. How's she gonna raise that child without a man? Wonder what she'll do with herself. How's she gonna live like that? Everybody got all kinds of questions for Bernice. Everybody telling me I can't be a woman unless I got a man. Well, you tell me. Avery, you know. How much woman am I?
Doing August Wilson for the past 3 years has really contributed to the reason why I am so passionate for performing and acting. I think a lot of us can struggle with the complexity that goes into August Wilson. This work isn't easy, but we work harder despite that. I think a lot of us has had our fair share of doubts and anxieties about doing August Wilson online, but we persevered through it, and it really does show that we are capable of accomplishing some great things no matter what.
Make him come back to me. Make his feet say my name on the road. I don't care what happens. Make him come back. He go by Jack Carper. He was born in Alabama, then he come to West Texas and find me. We come here. Been here 3 years before he left. Say I had a curse prayer on me and started walking down the road and ain't never come back. Somebody told me say you could fix things like that. Ain't said nothing, just started walking. I could see where he disappeared, didn't look back, just keep walking. Can't you fix it so he come back? I ain't got no curse prayer on me. I know I ain't. Me and Jack had 2 babies. 2 little babies that ain't lived 2 months before they died. Say it's because somebody cursed me not to have babies. All my life, I've been looking for somebody to stop and stay with me. I already got too many things to forget about. I take Jack Carper's hand, and it feels so rough and strong. Feels like he's the strongest man in the world, the way he'll be like he's bigger than the whole world and can't nothing bad get to me. Even when he act mean sometimes. He just make everything seem okay with the world. Like
There's a part of it that belongs just to you. Now you're telling me to forget about